What's good, Star Wars fans? Breaking news tonight, and unfortunately, it's not the good type of breaking news either. And having said that, it shouldn't really surprise us. But EA have reportedly, as of today, cancelled their Star Wars open world game. At least allegedly. But having said that, seeing as this news is coming straight from Kotaku, which does usually back their stories with insider information, this is unfortunately looking like this could be the real deal. The exact game we're talking about here is the remains of the project that EA Vancouver took over development from Visceral Games back in October 2017, when EA also shut down Visceral Games and cancelled their single-player Star Wars game that had been in the works for years. That game was originally conceived as an Uncharted-like linear experience at Visceral, and was directed by Uncharted alumni Amy Hennig. However, Patrick Sutherland, the vice president at EA at the time, announced that that game would be discontinued due to what he called shifts in the marketplace, claiming that gamers don't care about single-player linear experiences and only cared about games with an expansive multiplayer and broader involvement. So essentially, Visceral's game was cancelled, and the asset remains of it were instead taken over to EA Vancouver with the promise of transforming it into an entirely new game. One which would feature open world multiplayer and of course microtransactions. But after a year in development, now that game has been effectively canned by EA. Quite possibly over fears of how many microtransactions were implemented within that game, especially after the whole Battlefront 2 controversy. Not to mention that EA Vancouver themselves have a very limited experienced staff in non-sport games, with their last non-EA Sports title being Medal of Honor Heroes 2 back in 2007. And being someone who did formerly work for EA Vancouver, I can tell you that it's nothing but sports titles like FIFA, NHL, and UFC that do get made there. And as such, only specific people with experience in making those type of games get hired to work there. Not so much single player or open world developers. Now, according to Kotaku, there is a chance that EA Vancouver may start to work on scratch on yet another Star Wars game. But that's honestly more so speculation on their part than actual fact. The only facts of the matter remain is EA have now pretty much canned 2 Star Wars games since 2017, and have only 1 Star Wars game in active development right now, that being Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order, which suspiciously enough, we still have yet to see any actual game footage or anything about that game, and that doesn't bode well. Especially considering it's supposed to be released in 2019, yet we've already seen trailers of other games that are coming out in 2019, yet absolutely nothing for Fallen Order rather than that initial awkward announcement we got at last year's EA Play. Of course, I'm not saying that EA will cancel Fallen Order as well, even though it's not entirely impossible, but it's suspicious nonetheless for its current lack of exposure, which EA Vancouver's game also experienced, and well, we all know what happened there now. And we can't ignore EA's current track record with the Star Wars license, which right now isn't looking all that hot. For now, all we can hope for is that EA Vancouver do start working on another Star Wars game, so we at least have something else to look forward to after Fallen Order, or at the very least EA have another studio do one. And if that's the case, then best a studio that does more than sport titles. As always, let me know what you all think about this mess by EA and what exactly should they do, or at least what do you want EA to do? Let me know in the comments down below. But for all your Star Wars news, keep it here to Silo. This is N7 from Silo, signing off.